Eurobike, the world's biggest cycling trade show, opened today, and Ollie and I have been walking and searching out the best tech for you.
That's right. I've walked 17 kilometres today.
17 kilometres. When I said walking, I mean
I had a pedometer on my phone. Yeah.
That gives you an idea of the scale of Eurobike.
And the lengths we're going to as well.
Well, absolutely. But bear in mind, there are corners of the show that we haven't even reached yet. But anyway, so we're feeling slightly bamboozled, having seen all this stuff. There is already a video up on GCN, which hopefully you've watched by now. All the rest of our videos from Eurobike are going to be coming out on the Tech channel. They're natural homier thing. But today, right now, we wanted to kind of, basically absorb and digest exactly what we've seen and kind of talk through it, really.
Yeah, that's right. So I think first thing to start off is sort of personal highlights.
Yeah.
And for me, I saw two really cool new TT bikes. The first one was the Merida Warp, which has only just come out and will be ridden in the Tour de France this year by Vincenzo Nibali. And that's a bike that's been designed within the constraints of the UCI regulations. And it's an incredible design and there's some really great features on, so you can check that out in the video. But
is it more bike?
More bike. Definitely lives up to that tagline.
Does it? Nice.
And then I thought that was really cool, but then I saw this new Cipo Shadow TT bike, which blew my mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible machine.
I'm not massively familiar with Cipo because they're a triathlon brand predominantly, right?
Exactly. So being a triathlon brand, it means they're not constrained by the UCI regulations, and as a result, they can just totally go to town on the design of that bike. And I saw it and I was like, wow. The main thing was that the fork is actually horizontal rather than the traditional vertical fork, and actually incorporates a sort of aero mudguard or fender.
Triathletes, an aero mudguard.
Yeah, and so by having this, they're able to completely control and manipulate the airflow on the leading edges, the front of the bike, more so than on any other bike that's ever been designed before. And then they can control that airflow all the way along the frame through to the back of the bike, and there's no seat post as well.
No way. That's cool, isn't it?
Cipo haven't given any specific numbers or claims as to how aero the bike is compared to current other leading time trial bikes, but they seem to be pretty confident that it was very slippery, and you'd be impressed. Well, it's certainly got credentials behind it, because Damon Miller, the guy that's been in charge of designing it, has a background in Formula One with Red Bull Racing, so
He's got some credentials. Now that's going to be in a video coming up very soon, right here. But for me, it was kind of almost the tip of the iceberg in terms of tech that was really outside the box. Because my absolute highlight was from Ceramic Speed, and they've reinvented the drivetrain. There is no other way of putting it. In 120 years of bike history, or whatever it is now, more than that, in 140 years, people haven't really reinvented the drivetrain. But Ceramic Speed have done. And so effectively their goal is to make bikes more efficient. They say that a standard Dura-Ace transmission is 97% efficient. When you ceramic speed it to the max with giant jockey wheels and everything, apparently you make it 98% efficient. But their goal was 99%, and in order to hit that, they've had to do away with the chain, because they say there's too much what's called static frictions. That's like the rollers of the chain, basically like grinding on the chain rings and things. And so basically, and they've replaced it with this drive shaft that's got roller bearings at either end that mesh with teeth on. I want to call it a chain ring, Ollie, but it's obviously not, because there's no chain, and it's just incredible. And then they've also theorised, because this bit's still at the theoretical stage, that you can actually gear up by having this kind of 13-speed sprocket at the back, and it's a work of art, and it also looks like a work of possible torture.
It's absolutely incredible. I mean, this could be the future.
Well, yeah, I mean, genuinely, it could. When you look at it, I did anyway, as a Brit, so someone who rides almost on a daily basis in horrible conditions. And I keep thinking, like, well, there's quite a lot of exposed bearings there, but for kind of race days or whatever, I mean, imagine, like, that's some sizable savings, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
49% more efficient than Dura-Ace.
I need all the help I can get. I'm going to take it.
Don't we all? The only thing I noticed on a photo I posted on Instagram, a lot of people were flat out terrified of all these new sharp edges, which is it's a fair shout, but it's a very much pre-production. I mean, it's only been in development for 9 months. The fact they've got it this far is remarkable.
Yeah, and chain rings are covered in sharp edges already anyway on a traditional
Well,
chain
exactly,
ring.
that's true. And you know, most of the time, I've been injured on the ground. You know, the ground is probably worse than anything on your bike, isn't it? But anyway, that absolutely just I thought was another level of cool. Yeah. What else have you been noticing?
Well, I think we can look at a few sort of trends as well, general, more broader trends within the cycling industry. And it's fair to say that there's a huge amount of gravel or adventure bikes, if you will, and also bike packing solutions.
Yeah.
Every corner I turned, seemingly, there was more of it. And, you know, I think that says a lot about where sort of cycling's heading.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? Because I think those are the kind of bikes that most people would probably really enjoy riding, and they're really capable of everything just with a swap of a pair of tyres at most. But I've heard it said from a few different sources here, people within the bike industry, that they're really frustrated that they've ended up with this term gravel, because it doesn't really sum up what the bikes are all about, does it? And so, you know, we need another word. I've been saying this for months over on the Tech Channel, but it really does feel like these bikes could be the future, but only when they're stopped being put in this little niche of riding on.
Yeah, that's
gravel.
right. I mean, in parts of America, there's this established thing of gravel racing, but in a lot of other parts of the world, that doesn't really exist.
No.
And personally, I see the bike more as, I'd call it an adventure bike. I haven't been bike packing, but I really, really want to go. I really want to go and experience that. So, yeah, I'm going to try that out.
Yeah, well, and there's, like you said, there's a million different options. We're going to have a video on the adventure side of the sport here at Eurobike, so loads of new bags, loads of new bikes, tyres, handlebars, all of that stuff. So that is absolutely coming up. One thing, another like big innovation, and I take my hats off to them because they've done it before, but Rota have just released a 13-speed one-bike group set, which is very cool. So this was in today's video as well, but it uses their original Uno group set. So that was hydraulic shifting as well as hydraulic braking. And they've created this derailleur that works across 10 to 52 tooth cassettes. So it goes on mountain bikes and road bikes. All you need is a different shifter. And it looked really good. I mean, genuinely, like, it did. I got to say, 13-speed one-by, they had all these graphs about gear ratios, but 10 to 36 rather, gives you exactly the same gear ratios as 53, 39, 11, 28. The only thing you're missing is one standout gear ratio out of that, because apparently on a 22 speed you normally get 14 individual gears on that.
I'm just amazed they managed to fit 13 sprockets on a standard free hub body.
They only moved the free hub body 3 mil towards the non-drive side, they said. So you can't run it as a rim brake bike, you have to have the wider 142 mil spacing at the back in order to build a wheel that's strong enough. But yeah, it's just squished on there.
Pretty cool engineering.
Oh, great.
Any other big trends that you've seen?
Well, weirdly, it's stuff I haven't seen, and I haven't seen much lightweight stuff. We were looking today for a showstopper of a lightweight bike, and admittedly, Ollie only walked 17 kilometres, so there might be some out there.
In that 18th kilometre, it was probably there.
I think it was, yeah. But no, weirdly, not much in the way of lightweight tech. Yeah. So whether or not that's because people are just going and looking at other things, prioritising other areas, or whether it's just because this wasn't the year for lightweight tech. But I thought that was weird.
I don't know, yeah, I mean, this is my 4th Eurobike, and to put this into context, right, in the past, there's often been a lot of brands like to put a showstopper bike on the stand to really draw all the journalists in, that's kind of got all the lightest bits known to humanity and make like a sort of wacky sub 5 kilogram amazing bike. And everyone likes seeing that. And yeah, this year I've struggled to find one.
Also, no fat bikes.
Yeah, which is weird because 5 years ago, Eurobike was just basically the fat bike show.
A lot of e-bikes.
Oh, e-bikes, more and more e-bikes year on year. And this year though, a big e-bike shift has been actually road bike e-bikes.
Yeah.
So no longer the hybrid bike, which has been the staple of the e-bike market. And then, there's been a lot of mountain bikes, but the drop bar, lightweight e-bikes. We saw, there's a new Orbea.
Yeah.
But, I mean, here at the show, we've seen new Lapierre, and there's another one as well.
You said sort of look?
Yes, really amazing looking look.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I mean, they're a bit controversial, aren't they, e-bikes on the road scene? But
Lloydie's a big fan.
Yeah, he is. And actually, I bumped into a guy today that was telling me about this system whereby it's a motor and a hub, and the battery is in a bottle case, so you can fit it on any bike. And he was saying that it works via an app, and he said you can set it so that the motor only kicks in when you go above a certain heart rate. When you think about it, there's an awful lot of cyclists out there that, you know, perhaps are getting older and, you know, for whatever health reason, maybe they can't ride as hard as they would do, but they still want to go out riding with their mates. And so he was saying that, you know, a few people that he's sold them to, it's totally changed their cycling lives. So they're in their 70s, they won't have to go riding with their mates anymore, but this means that they're happy to ride along on a flat road, and they get to a climb, the motor kicks in when their heart rate hits 140, they sail up the climb with their mates, and then they carry on. And it's about enjoying the sport in whatever way you can, isn't it? And I kind of think, wow, that's great. And a bit like Lloydie, you know, he's now able to ride his e-bike.
Yeah, he's getting on a bit.
Almost as fast as he used to ride it when he was, you know, racing with the Cervelo test team, which I don't know whether you knew, but he was on there.
That's absolutely. I mean, it's about, you get to feel that sense of freedom that you felt when you first got on the bike as a child and rode away from your house the first time. And you're still giving people that sense of freedom. Yeah,
yeah, and also I think for me there's a sense of optimism that there's so many kind of practical bikes out there that are e-bikes that can, you know, ferry your kids around, or they can transport stuff around a city, or, you know, like really good commuter solutions as well. I saw some great stuff at POC, like this amazing kind of commuter clothes, like waterproof jackets and stuff. They're going to be in a video coming up as well. My particular highlight there was these gaiters, like effectively waterproof leg warmers that you pull on over your trousers. Amazing. I need those in my life, basically.
Right, so I think we should wrap up.
I think we should.
Because I want to get some dinner and a beer.
And it's about to get dark.
Yeah, but we're beautiful Bodensee behind us, or Lake Constance, as it's also known.
Yeah. Make sure you stay tuned, obviously, to GCN Tech over the week. As we said, all our videos are going to be going on here. So we've got lightweight and aero tech coming up. We've got best budget tech coming up. We've got best adventure tech / gravel tech. What have we got? We've got more commuter stuff coming up. High tech. That's particularly exciting.
I'm especially excited about that one.
Yeah. So yeah, Ollie's going to try and walk 18K tomorrow and find that super lightweight
in
bike.
That last K, that's where all the gold's going to be.
Yeah.
All the nuggets.
Absolutely. Yeah. So make sure you stay tuned. And if you haven't seen that first video on GCN, then why not click just here now?